Hello, everybody. I'm Bridget from Shift One Degree.
And I'm Dana from Big Dot Consulting.
So we had a little shift because of the current situation. We thought we'd do something on the coronavirus because of the sort of pandemic, so to speak, and people being more isolated and being more on their own. We thought it would be quite useful to give some tips on how to work with that, adapt our lives. Yeah,
because we all find ourselves stuck to the news all the time and checking the numbers, and it doesn't matter in which country we are. People are trying to understand what's the situation. I think when everyone sees what's happening in Italy, they're very, very nervous. And that's why today's topic is actually how not to let the fear control us. Because it's very easy when you watch the news and read everything and exposed to everything on social media. And then on top, you're getting all the restrictions that comes from the government, that it makes you second guess all the time and get into a stress mode and all the fears. So that's why I want to give you some tips on how to deal with it. So we're going to start with tip number one.
Tip number one, and this is something, whether it's corona or not, writing a journal. And I think writing, people talk about writing all the time, and I think it's so, I don't do it. To be honest, I don't do it, but I need to start doing it.
Started.
Did you?
I started
it's
recently.
It's healing, it's constructive.
That's the reason why I started.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing to do. If you can discipline yourself, you can share with them. I mean, if that's something you're doing currently.
I think it's a nice place for you to just share it, say it. If you don't want to share it with other people, that's a nice place for you to just write it down and just let it all go. Because what happens a lot of the time, we have so many fears in us or so many concerns or so many things that bothering us that we just keep it and it's building up, and then bottom line, if you're not going to get, if you're not going to get the coronavirus, you actually can get sick from something else because it's going to be very emotional. And I do believe there is a lot of connection between body, soul, and all of it.
Yeah.
And it really comes. And I experience it myself. And that's the thing. It's when people say if you feel that your throat is hurt, maybe because you've got a lot to say and you're not saying it.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. So use a journal. And also a lot of therapists saying that using a journal will help you heal yourself. So just write down what are your fears, for example, in that journal. So that's what I do. I'm not necessarily writing every day what I'm going through and things like this, but I do use it to write what are my fears, what I'm going to try to overcome, if someone maybe annoyed me or something like that, so I write a letter in there of the things that I want to say, so I'm just taking things out of me.
It's like unpacking, it's kind of unpacking and processing, which is probably easier to do, writing a journal. That's tip number one. Tip number two is to get involved with stress-free activities. So things like what I started to do, I have been doing for a little while now, is downloading an app on meditation. So I do meditation. That is amazing. I know you practice yoga.
So I do yoga. For me, that's my thing. And also and let's say it from a different angle, if I'll take the yoga. Because I've got a friend that she's doing yoga with me a bit. But, now with the kids that are now going to school, so she's doing yoga with the kids, and that's a nice way to involve them as part of it and let them be part of it. And also, because you also need to remember, as a parent especially, you're going to bring your pressure and your stress and your fears out there that it's going to come to your kids and they will need to deal with this in the future. So when we speak about even this type of tip of stress-free activities, do it for yourself and do it with your kids as well if you are a parent. You can also do art. I love to paint and drawing and other stuff you can do, and that's a nice thing to do as well with kids. Meditation, and again, everyone's got their own activities. Even if for some of you it's just to go surf at the ocean, if it's some of you just to have a nice braai and with the family, find the things that makes you not to overthink about a situation.
I think also when it comes to the stress-free activities, you could get together with 4 of your closest mates that kind of live in the area. You get together.
2 meter gap.
Because I think sometimes, to just be in isolation, it can be a bit hard. I think we're social creatures. We want human contact. We want human interaction. And I think it can be quite overwhelming, especially if you're on your own. Maybe if you've got a family and you're all at home together, it's different. But say if you are on your own, you don't have a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, a partner, and you're on your own, sure, it can be a little bit tough. And I think if there's maybe a few other people that you could get together with and do these sort of stress-free activities, massive benefit.
And you can see the new trend that happens, all those live concerts that people do from balconies. So if you watch the news, and you see what other different countries, people find different creative ways. And that's also part of letting all the stress come out. Dancing is as well, and that's the nice thing. You can actually take this time to actually build more connections and do things of healing
in
yourself.
Your community.
And there's actually a lot of saying like now on people that this is a good time for the artist. Yes. Because now they're very creative. Now they've got time to write more songs, more like shows for theaters and things like that.
And self-reflection. There's a lot more self-reflection because there is a lot more time. Because when you're not traveling, when you're not in your car and you're not traveling, there is so much more time. There's so many more hours in your day to actually do so much more. Because sitting in traffic is, a bit of a time waster.
But there is also like the story about Isaac Newton that
basically that's when he came up with the
isolated for 2 years and he got with gravity. Yeah, it's like look what happened. So
invent something.
Exactly. Think about a new thing that you want to do in life. Maybe it's like you said about the reflection. Maybe it's your time to say, you know what? I'm going to find a different opportunity of what I want to do in life. Maybe that will be your wake-up call to do something that you really love and you really want to make it change. So don't see it. And that's what we say. Like if you write a journal and you're going to write this thing down, write, for example, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to achieve. Like and make them alive.
The third one is getting support. And I think again, this ties into the whole theme of we are not islands. We don't want to be on our own. And by getting support, that could be creating an online, I do part-time work for Say Yes. And we work remotely. I mean, we have been doing since the very beginning, but now we really are remotely. So we kind of tune into this team remote. So we're all online and communicating. We have meetings that way. So you're still connected, but you're not kind of physically connected, which kind of also helps.
Yeah, and there's also you're going to find in our previous video that we spoke about actually how to get your business and online during this time, and you're going to watch it. I'm going to put a link below, but there's a great thing for you to actually use, and that's part of it. Like you can have different ways to get other people involved. It's also like share with friends and family about your fears. Have a conversation. Maybe even if you've got friends that you both are isolated in different places, in quarantines, do like a Skype call, do like a WhatsApp or whatever video call and share with each other what's going on. Maybe there is actually a nice activity they do, for example, in Israel to deal with the Holocaust on that day. And what people do, and here you cannot do it because of the virus, but it's a nice way to copy something like that and do it maybe online. But what they all sit in one room, in the living room, and just speak about the topic, what happened, and all of that, and tell stories, and play music and stuff like that. So that's another way to do it in a different angle. Just share with some friends, speak about the topic, speak about the other stuff. Share with each other what you're trying. What are your reflection out of it? Where you want to take your life? What are your fears? Try to sing a song. Maybe do something else. Maybe even watch a video, you share your screen. There's so many things. But just don't be by yourself. You need to find a balance between be by yourself and reflecting and getting to your own conclusions. But on the other hand, connect with other people and don't try to deal with it. No one can actually heal himself or deal with things by himself alone. You can do part of it, but not all of it. But also for that, it's important to find the people that not gonna stress you even more when you share.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. But I think we should summarize these tips because we're gonna do some more videos on the corona because I think it's very relevant at the moment. And it might go on for a little bit.
But regardless, those are things that you can use in general because all the tips we are giving, we're gonna sum up now. But those tips you can deal with fears, and doesn't matter what type of fear.
Absolutely. So tip number 1 is to write a journal.
Yes.
Tip number 2
is stress-free activities.
And tip number 3 is find support. So connect with like-minded people, not people that are going to feed your fear, but like-minded people.
Exactly.
And next week we will continue on a topic in relation to the coronavirus.
So and stay healthy.
Yes. And have a
great
week.
Be safe and have a great week.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.